Welcome to the DSQ podcast with Blake Lawson and Dakota Reynolds.
All right, everybody, welcome to the highest low-energy podcast that you're ever going to get from us, because we have to finish this podcast before you aren't able to understand Dakota, and I pass out from the Benadryl that I've taken. So let's go, Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. Woo!
To be fair, this is the best my voice has sounded in like 3 days, too. Welcome. If you don't want me to do this ever again, let me know. We'll just delay recording, I guess.
It'll be fine. It'll be perfectly fine. Saudi. Fastest track on the calendar, or correction, fastest street track on the calendar, only out-fasted by Monza. Because Zoom. Them Italians sure know how to make a track. Another trip out to the desert to finish off our triple header, onto a track that looks like a literal, fucking bent knife. Yeah.
You think one of those, stress ball things, you just squeeze it.
That's squeeze and it leaves the fucking handprint. Yeah.
There's your track layout for Jeddah.
Yeah, that's what Tilka did. Yep. Just fucking did that.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, that's exactly what we're doing. Night race. So it's actually at a reasonable time for us. 12 noon.
Siren. Well, no, it's not Saturday. I'll say siren time, but that's Saturdays, not Sundays.
Yeah.
Days don't matter this week.
No, they really don't. Going with so 6 kilometers of racing, a little over 6 kilometers in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. I didn't see if that updated. No, it did not. Okay, cool. So the lap record set in 2021 by Lewis Hamilton, as this is still a relatively new track. It's the 5-year anniversary, as they were so eager to remind us. That lap record being a 1:30.734. And the 3 tire compounds we used, the C3, the C4, and the C5, as per years past, would have been the hardest sets that we have. However, this year we have the addition, or softest sets. Is the other way around? Yeah, it's softest sets, because soft is on the right side. So yes, softest set that we would have had, except this year we now have C6s, which I think debut at Monza.
Yes.
Zoom.
I will bring up the single lap record, not from the actual race. Is a 1:27.472. That was from Max last year. I bring that up because hopefully, it will come up here in qualifying. Hopefully, I realized I wasn't as close to the mic, so hopefully that still showed up in the audio. New headphones, still getting used to open backs.
Anyway. Upgrades, people. Upgrades. So, as we get into it, we get to the pre-race shenaniganry. Do we have anything crazy over the week that we had?
Don't think so. Still just, everybody was still kind of reacting from the Max stuff, but nothing.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. And then there's definitely a comment from him. It was like, how about you just worry about reporting and I'll worry about racing, sort of thing, so...
Yep, triple header. Everybody's just wanting to get over with, take a week off, and then, on to the next.
See where things are from there, yeah. Go from human rights violation to human rights violation.
Ooh. Whoa.
With
the metal podcast today.
With no more crazy week shenanigans ongoing, we have upgrades to both the circuit and the cars. Circuit upgrades include mostly just blue. That's all it is. Why are you blue? Pit entry and exit white lines are highlighted blue. Safety car lines are highlighted blue. They added the blue line behind the white at the apex of turns 2, 5, 8, 9, 14, and 17. And a blue line behind the white line at the exit of turns 8, 19, and 23. By the way, yes, there are a lot of turns in this track. There are 27 turns, air quotes. Some of them are nothing more than just a 1 degree turn to the right, but it is still technically a turn for them. So, yeah, 27 turns.
That's so many turns.
Honestly, I think those blues actually should be mandatory for all the tracks. Like put the blue on the.
I think it is. I think that's the whole rolling out.
What they're doing now is that's this year. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, they started testing it and using it last year. So I think Zandvoort was like the first one to really use it last year. Maybe Canada, and then from there.
Yeah, I just didn't notice anything on.
I don't think it's like mandatory, like a directive or anything. I just think they are starting.
Gotcha.
Just doing that. So
I just didn't notice anything on like the pit entry and exit and safety car stuff in the previous tracks this year, but it could have just been that they haven't done that yet. But I think that's absolutely brilliant because that actually came into play in this race, as they needed to use that to be able to tell whether or not someone crossed too early. Upgrades for cars. Nothing for Mercedes, Alpine, and Williams. That was a very poppy P from Alpine. But that notwithstanding, your actual upgrades come from McLaren with a reshaped diffuser and rear brake duct arrangement. Ferrari with a rear wing circuit specific upgrade. Red Bull with the Coke. No, they actually they enlarged their central exit on the engine cover, and they did some beam wing adjusts that were circuit specific.
You can make your own joke, insert it there.
Yeah, insert it there. Aston Martin with a less aggressive rear wing flap. They actually gave it Coke. Haas has some circuit-specific wing changes, V-Carb, circuit-specific front, rear, and beam wing changes, and Sauber with, you guessed it, circuit-specific wing changes and changes to their central floor geometry. It's all about circuit-specific stuff because it's a very fast track. Power units. I had to do some adjustments on this because, as always, I'll write something down and then find another document later on in the week that says, oh, hey, also this team did this. So all Red Bull powertrain drivers, Ferrari drivers, Ferrari drivers, and Pierre Gasly took a new ICE or internal combustion engine, a new turbocharger, motor generator unit heat, because I guess I never really expounded upon what those stood for, but it's MGU-H, the motor generator unit kinetic, which is your MGU-K, and your exhaust systems. And then in addition to that, Jack Doohan joins his partner at Alpine in taking a new turbocharger and the MGU-H, and Esteban Ocon and Ollie Behrman, both Haas drivers, take new exhaust systems. Yay.
Get those parts. I guess use it now, I guess. Let's see what you need to use. Take your penalties early.
Yeah, may as well. Some of them are going to need to take extra parts throughout the year if some of this driving is anything to go by. Because I think at the very least, Lando might be looking towards that. Spoilers! But yeah, that is upgrades.
Gotcha. Practice sessions. Oh, this is going to be good. My first more than one sentence spoken. We're starting off like that. Free practice is one only real note, and something we thought was going to be an issue, and part of the circuit director's note change is the painted area in front of the pit. Do not drop a tire on that, or cross that, because it's with the high speed and all that. It could be very dangerous, so that was a very much, hey, do not cross this painted area, where the sponsor, I can't remember who it was. Probably Aramco, whatever. I was trying so hard not to cough. Anyway, but a quick little reprimand for that. Just kind of more of a lesson for everybody. It's like, hey, we're going to take this seriously because it could be bad. FP2 sat out. Gabriele Bortoletto sat out. Originally, it was reported as a survival cell change, but they also said fuel link. So, I don't know. It took the entirety of the running, so whatever it was, definitely a big change. Lance doing Lance things. He does a little spin. Alex, good little reaction moment, not to absolutely destroy one of the Ferraris. Can't remember which one it is. Didn't write it down. But good reaction from there. And that's it. Nothing else. No, I'm just kidding. Yuki, unfortunately, losing it. Just hits one corner, breaks his steering on one side, and can't turn in on the next side, and
smash.
And yeah, just that wing disintegrated. I don't know how he hit the wing inside, like the one spot where you hit it and just like shatters. Like, I don't know. So, not horrible. I had turn 27. I'm pretty sure it wasn't turn 27, but because that would have been the last turn.
That would have been, yeah.
So it's probably that little one before that. Like we even know. I would assume probably would have been 23, 24, 25 is probably what that was.
More than likely.
But yeah, didn't look too bad. Obviously, Red Bull did not break curfew to rebuild it, and he did go out for FP3. So nothing too bad, just new front wing, new suspension, new rear wing probably. It'll hopefully last him the whole race. Anyway, and then free practice 3, Hajar gets waterboarded. Man, the drink systems are not having... that was I think, was that Jolien or was that DC? I want to say it was Jolien on the broadcast said that. But yeah, Isaac just tapping water, basically free-flowing his helmet, continuing. We are 5 for 5, I'm pretty sure, on drink systems not functioning properly in somebody's car.
Just manually fucking disconnected at that point. Just like, off. All right, I'll have the drink.
Yep, no drink.
Actually, that could probably be more deadly at this track than having the drink too much.
Yep, definitely saw the driver cooling systems, and that was a lot of big things, and the changes were coal stores being changed, so.
Oh, yeah. No, that's in the highlights.
That's all I had for practice again. Because it was more standard time also meant that, work was at normal free practice times, so.
Fun times all around. Your top 3 finishers from each session. FP1, Pierre makes the top of the timing board on that one, followed by Lando and Charles. FP2 gets you Lando, Oscar, and Max, and FP3 gets you Lando, Oscar, and George. Lando making a pretty convincing argument of being one of the best right now. Fastest driver out there. Yeah. I think that takes us to quali.
Does take us to quali. I think not eventful, not eventful, minor events.
Wasn't eventful until it was eventful.
Yeah. Q1, Pierre Gasly takes off with his tire blanket wrapped around his axle. So that took them a second to figure out.
Whoopsie.
That mechanic won't make that mistake again, according to broadcast. I think that one was DC. I'm like, well, stuff happens. It was just Alpine, not as cutthroat. And then during his run...
Forget who's at Alpine.
Oh, you're correct. You are
correct. They're in a country that does not care about human rights violations, so that mechanic was never heard from again.
Yeah. It was no harm, no foul. It worked out for him pretty much. Gabriele Bortoleto did have a little spin on his last lap. Not able to set anything representative, so he's P20 out that first session, along with the other, speaking of French, Esteban. I'm not going to pronounce the last name. Pronounce whichever name is not as hard on my throat. That's how I'm going to go with this episode. Hulkenberg, 18. Jack Doohan out. And then Lance Stroll giving everybody points on this week's predictions.
What a guy. What a great guy. I'm going to get more into predictions later, but what a great guy. What I
don't remember being eventful, Q2, just standard qualifying session. Sees...
What happened?
Huh?
So it just sort of happened.
It just happened. Nobody crashed. 15, Ollie Behrman. Isaac Hadjar, P14, his lowest start of the season. He's been a pretty consistent, good rookie, but maybe a little slump, but hey, different tracks. That's how it goes. P13, super rookie, Fernando Alonso. P12, Liam, fuck you, Lawson. And P11, Alexander Albon. Sorry, no track limits to push you past. Not this time. It was just how it was.
Yeah, push us past. Yeah, after the fact,
After the fact where it didn't matter. And then Q3, nothing happened. Right, let's go. No. Course, pretty quick off. Pretty quick off. Probably about, I guess this is technically 10 minutes into the session. But basically, we're right when we're getting into the representative sessions, or representative times for the final. Lando crashes.
Yep.
Loses it. Turn 4, turn 5, kind of just spins it. Not a high impact. I did not trigger. He did go to medical, but it did not trigger the specific G-forces that required it, just out of safety. So no time for Lando Norris, meaning he starts P10, lowest start for him. or coughing. But yes, we got Pierre in P9. I don't know where I was going with there. Yuki continuing form as the second Red Bull in P8. Lewis P7. Carlos Sainz, driver for Williams. P6. Kimi Antonelli P5. Charles, I'll say the last name. I'll ruin this microphone. In P4, and then single lap record talked about earlier. All these top 3 drivers have beat the single lap record with these times. So, well, I'm not saying the time. I'll say Max's time. Spoiler alert. In what was a very entertaining qualifying for these last 3 laps. George Russell in your P3, just about a little over 10th behind Piastri. Or sorry, no, how about a 10th behind first place Oscar Piastri, a 100th behind your pole sitter Max Verstappen with a 127.249.
294.
The new 294. Dyslexic. Nice. Or my handwriting. One or the other.
Something like that.
But yeah, new single lap record. As I figured was happening, because I think that's where we're at with cars right now. Is we'll get these records for the season and stuff will reset next year.
And then everything will go to shit.
Yep.
Either that or everything will go just off the charts. Like, lap records will be shattered by like 10 seconds. Would be wild, but I don't think that's going to happen. All right.
Good qualifying sessions. Very entertaining.
Very entertaining.
Not even just the crashing, just good racing, quote, good driving, good timing.
All right. After quali, that puts us into Parc Fermé. A couple of highlights from that are, of course, the driver cooling stores being replaced for George and both the Williams. After last week's going-ons, there was some transponder fuckery this week. I don't know if it's a case of, these things have always been replaced, and now that it's something that we should pay attention to, we're going to start documenting it in the thing now, or if it's just, that's a coincidence. But there was some transponder fuckery. Ocon had to replace his rear transponder fairing, and Albon had to replace his rear transponder insulation foam.
Interesting.
But I'm pretty sure that's the only time that I've really seen that on there.
Yeah, I even looked at the Parc Fermé document earlier. Don't remember seeing that, so.
Yeah. Maybe
just easy to miss.
Very true. It's not something you really even think about. Don't think it's just the tracker for the thing. No, it's a lot more than just a tracker on a map.
Yep. There was a good video. Can't remember who made it, but we watched it. It was like, they kind of talked about it. It's still very, not a super deep dive into the actual thing. Like, I would love to know who makes all this stuff, but obviously it's branded by Tag Heuer, but I don't think Tag Heuer is actually making these timing systems.
Not.
So probably Texas Instruments, because they make anything electronic.
Oh God,
At some point. All right, it's the night race. Except it's there's also several night races, but it's the fast Middle Eastern one.
Yeah,
there's still multiple of those. I was like, Bahrain's the twilight race. Abu Dhabi's Abu Dhabi. It's the finale race. You can't have both.
Fair enough.
Straight out the bat, basically, a little bit of Max and Piastri doing their stuff.
He pushed me off.
He forced me off. I turned in, blah, blah, blah. Same stuff.
Max trying to pull his normal Max shenaniganry.
Yep.
It didn't work this time. Sucks to suck, bud.
You should have a British passport next time. Maybe then you want to get the penalty, like Lewis and George. I will stop bringing it up when it stops being correct. Turn one in Austin. Still haven't,
Still waiting on that penalty.
And then turn 5 and 6, I want to say, is where this was. Yuki and Gasly.
A tale old as time.
Yeah. Sad Yuki fan noises and coughing, but that's not necessarily related to the crash. Just a little bit of coming together. Had the turn.
Smash.
The obvious jokes aside, we won't go there. But yep. Racing incident was noted. They basically, were basically as we thought. It was like, yeah, they just went in there. Yeah, racing incident, whatever. Happens. Yuki managed to keep going and at least get back to the track. Didn't see what his official reason was.
Yeah.
I assume it was suspension, obviously. But
I would assume either suspension or rear wing.
Gasly had to make it out. Only a quick SC, honestly. It was in lap 3. At this point, a couple do hop in the pits. I didn't know who for the safety car because it was so early.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notate that.
Yeah, there was a couple. It was like, I guess just trying to go for a one stop or something, or I don't know if they ended up doing. Honestly, my consciousness level for the race was maybe not as cognizant as normal. Allergies suck. And it's just allergies, I promise. Max does get a 5-second penalty for his lap 1, turn 1 shenanigans. Crazy.
A penalty?
On a lap 1, turn 1 incident? In this economy? Crazy. Crazy. How's it now?
That was crazy once.
Other than that, I think I put this on lap 13, 14, but it probably didn't happen here because I think I was like, oh shit, I need to go back and note this. Lando and Lewis going at it for a little bit.
You got me because I didn't note it. So.
Oh, yeah, because they were doing that. Lewis was basically doing the DRS
the
trick.
DRS thing, yeah. Just catching him off on the last one and then going
like,
down the start-finish.
Like, and I'm taking this back, cool, and then a couple more rounds of that, and then Lando finally was like, oh, I know what's happening here. I see. And, yep, that finally works. I got lap 20 is when the main pit start. Max will serve his. Clean pit stop.
Pretty solid.
Better than Williams, sorry.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Yep. God, lap 25. I almost said a small knock on. Fernando Alonso and his managee.
Client, basically.
Client. Yeah, client's a good word that I use all the time that I should have used. It's not like I use that word at work every day. Almost died.
Yeah. He almost murdered that other rookie.
Yeah. Coming in very close, I guess, just took some advice from his manager's teammate Lance Stroll and didn't necessarily look in his mirrors and just squeezed a little too much on that was, I believe, turn 17 or turn 16, 17 in there. And yeah, that would have been a very high speed stopping of force in motion. And that would have been bad, but Fernando backs out. I think Gabrielle realizes what's happening. Close call. I don't think they even noted it. I think it was just that was bad.
Yeah.
Oh, that could have been bad.
I feel like they did note it at the very least, but they gave it no further investigation.
Yep. Next thing I have, we don't have a whole lot of notes. I don't think it was a bad race.
Just not a lot went on.
There's not a lot went on. Like, it wasn't like Suzuka. Like, not a lot happened. It was also boring. Like, not a lot happened, but it was still a good race. Like, you still had stuff. You still had Lando doing his stuff. There's still some stuff up in the air at the top. I'm so sorry about the coughs. Or I'm probably editing them out, but maybe not. Keep it authentic experience. Hey, Liam, buddy. This is the next thing I have.
Yep.
Forcing, they're leaving the track to gain an advantage. He gets a 10-second penalty. And then Lando, around the same time, also gets noted for, so crossing the pit line. But it wasn't like the one we normally think of. I was still confused on exactly what happened. I don't know if you have any more clarification on that or not.
I don't. My assumption is it is the one that we were thinking of, and they were thinking that he put a full tire over the line, but he did not put a full tire over the line. Like, it was very close to it, but it was not a full tire over. I know the replay, they started slowing it down at the first little, fucking S-curve, the fucking chicane bit there. I don't think that part counts. I don't think they care about that part. It's the actually, sending it onto track before you're supposed to is the main issue. So, and he did not do that. So,
yep. So no further
penalty.
action. Lawson's penalty gets applied at the end of the race. Only thing I have past that is George tire exploding.
Yeah, he was just talking about it. It was starting to notice a bit of a seam there on the shoulder. It was, we don't notice anything wrong. I'm just sitting there waiting, please, Please give me a puncture.
When it changed the race or anything, really, maybe a little bit, but with enough time. Front was kind of grouped up, but yep. I was like, that's all. Yeah.
That's all I got.
It wasn't. I don't think it was a bad race. Just not a lot happened. Low event hockey. It happens.
Yeah.
The playoffs have started, by the way, so it's playoff time. Dallas has already sucked, and Toronto's currently up 2-1.
This is their year for sure.
Maybe. Oh no, the stream's frozen. So
I'm gonna stop talking about it because
they were up 2-0, and then Blake walked in here, and they Ottawa immediately scored a goal.
So yeah, I just had bad luck. Okay, we're gonna get into that here in just a minute, but I just had bad luck.
All right, but that's your Grand Prix. Let's hit that beautiful rundown footage.
The beautiful rundown footage. Your winner of the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix is Oscar Piastri, who gained a spot and finished with a time of 1 hour, 21 minutes, 6 seconds, .758.
758 really dragged on.
Really did. Just awful. Your second place is Max Verstappen, having lost one position to finish there. And rounding out your top three, gaining one position, is Charles Leclerc, finishing 8 seconds behind Oscar. To continue on, Lando Norris gained 6 places to finish P4, which, kudos.
I'm sure he'll get the credit he deserves.
I'm sure he will.
I didn't give him the credit for that. I kind of did.
Boo hiss. Fifth place is George Russell, who lost 2 places. Sixth place lost a spot. Kimi Antonelli to finish where he was in P6 at the 6th position in the race. P7 is Lewis Hamilton, who started and finished there. P8 is Carlos Sainz, who lost 2 places. P9 is Alex Albon, gaining 2 places. So both of the Williams in the top 10. Yay, Williams! Yay!
Woohoo! That's a net 0, though.
That is a net 0. You are correct. But hey, points. Points are points. And as a Qajar, gaining 4 places to round out your top 10. On to the non-point scorers. Fernando Alonso gains 2 places to finish P11. Liam Lawson stays where he's at and finishes P12. Ollie Behrman stays where he's at. Correction. Ollie gains 2 places and finishes P13. I don't know why I was looking back up at Liam's again. Esteban Ocon gains 5 places and finishes P14. Nico Hulkenberg gains 3 places and finishes P15, but a lap down. So the rest of these are all 1 lap down. Lance Stroll stays and finishes P16. Jack Doohan stays and finishes P17. And Gabriel Bortoleto takes advantage of 2 DNFs and gains 2 spots to finish P18, leaving your lovers' quarrel to finish P19 and P20. In fact, not finishing. DNF, both losing 11 places.
And I don't know if you noted this or not. I may have spaced out. Hulkenberg, Stroll, Doohan, and Bortoleto all down the lap.
Oh, yes. Did note it, but just sort of like not where I intended to note it.
Oh,
so,
gotcha.
But yes.
Sorry.
Lap down, 4 drivers.
Gotcha.
Some drivers, 49 laps down. Maybe 50.
Technically, Yuki did finish a lap.
He did finish a lap because he made it back to the pits, so he crossed the start finish. So good on him.
Ooh,
Ding.
you finished. You got a lap. We've rebuilt the car for a lap.
Woohoo!
And okay qualifying.
On to our stats. The boring, crazy, great stuff. Your driver of the day. I voted for Lando Norris because 6 spots is a pretty awesome thing.
I voted for Max because I just can't vote for Lando. I'm too biased in my own things.
Listen to this schmuck over here. Although, unfortunately, 23.3% of voters agreed with him and said Max Verstappen should be driver of the day. So your driver of the day
is Max Verstappen.
Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha. You thought it would be different this time. So he gets 23.3% of the vote.
I genuinely believe they don't show us the voting percentage because something is up this year because they have not made sense. Even the one I voted for won this week. I still don't think.
Yeah.
Something's
lost a position. And then tried to blame it on fucking someone else and then got a 5-second penalty for it. So, I don't fucking know. Anyways, Max Verstappen with 23.3% of the vote. Second place was Charles Leclerc with 16.3%. Lando with 15.1%, Oscar with 13.8%, and Carlos Sainz with 5.5%, leaving 26% even to the rest of the people. Your pit stops. Actually, I don't know if we noted fastest lap. That would have gone to Lando Norris on lap 41 with a 1:31.778. Now to your pit stops. So your fastest stop was
Williams.
Ferrari.
We foreshadowed enough. Sorry.
Your fastest stop was Ferrari. Charles Leclerc specifically, 2 seconds flat.
Nice. That was the one we kind of called while watching live.
Yep.
Like, that was quick.
Yes, that was very fast. That was on lap 29. That is the new season record.
Ooh.
So
Didn't Ferrari own it from China anyway? So
they did, 2.05. And they also got the third fastest this race as well with Lewis at 2.07 seconds. So very fast this week for them. Unfortunately, who's not fast is Williams. Williams putting in the slowest pit stop that actually I will register because it wasn't regarding a penalty or replacement of a wing. Carlos Sainz specifically with a 6.44 on lap 21. I didn't note the lap, but the next slowest pit stop would have been Albon with a 4.44. There was only one slower. It was Red Bull with Verstappen. It was an 8.32 seconds, but he had a 5-second penalty to serve. So technically it was a 3.32, but we can't accurately do that because they didn't start from the point of thing. But yeah, Williams with the slowest pit stop, which I would like to lead into just the absolute fucking travesty that my F1 predictions were this week. All right.
You somehow did worse from last week. You didn't even
I didn't even do anything last week, and I scored 0 points, and I feel like I did worse this week. So
I should bring mine up, actually.
I should actually bring up the full thing, but F1 in their games, fantasy thing, whatever, they have a prediction thing now where you can guess on what all's going to... It's little mini predictions like we do at the start of the year, except for race-specific. So the first one was predict the podium for the 2025 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. I said it was going to be Lando, Max, and George in that order. I just got Max, and that was it. Second one was who the pole sitter was going to be. I said it was going to be Lando. He crashed. Next one was who would qualify higher, Hadjar or Lawson. I said Hadjar. Guess who didn't finish higher? They asked how far Stroll will go in quali. I feel like that one was a gimme.
Yep.
I don't think you could get that one wrong, so I think you
as
won.
Long as you're
which,
paying attention.
Yeah, as long as you've got a pulse and you're paying attention, you get points for that one. Asked how many classified finishers we would have. I said 17. Out of spite, there were 18. That's why I was kind of hoping for George to fucking have his tire burst on him. Safety car or VSC? Again, another gimme because literally every race has had a safety car in it or a VSC in it since 2021 when it first started. They asked who would have the fastest time. I said Piastri, which I fucking misspelled his name. I put Piastri, but I put a Y at the end instead of another I. So I combined Piastri and pastry.
Nice.
Lando got the fastest time, but I kind of figured Piastri would because he'd be in second or something and have to follow Lando or whatever. These have to be locked in before qualifying, so I didn't know. Fastest pit stop, I said Williams. They actually got the worst two. Who finishes ahead between Alonso, Doohan, Lawson, or Bortoleto? I said Doohan, who only finished ahead of Bortoleto and the DNFs. And finally, Williams or Haas ahead in points. I said Williams. I feel like that's another, if you're paying attention, you'll get points for that. So I'm putting in the notice. If you need a hit done this next race in Miami, let me know in the comments on the YouTube video, and I'll start making those predictions.
So do you want to go over mine or no?
You can go for it. I'm just mad about mine.
So, what was your point total? Let's start from there.
My final score was 30 points. Or no, correction, that's for the singular one. What was my one for the 60, I think?
Yeah, for the Saudi Arabia. What's your
60
score?
points.
Cool. I got 145 points.
You can go fuck yourself.
My podium was P1 Oscar, P2 Max, P3 Charles Leclerc. I got that one right somehow. My pole was Oscar Piastri. Got that one wrong. Also had Hadjar above Lawson. That did not happen. Q1 for Lance Stroll. Went ahead double chip that because that's the gimme. 18 classified finishers. Got that one. VSC and easy gimme. Fastest lap, I went for Kimi Antonelli. Of course, it was Lando, so no points there. Went for Mercedes for fastest pit stop. Had a lot of faith in Mercedes this week, apparently. But of course, that was Ferrari. Did have Fernando Alonso finishing ahead of everybody. Did have Williams ahead in the points as well. So,
Yay, Williams!
In our little league, I have a 100 and just under 100. That's math I don't want to do right now. I'm at 263. Next is 157. So whatever that math is.
You have 106 points lead.
106 point lead.
You are 163 points ahead of me.
Thanks.
But again, that's with a disadvantage of not having done it last week.
Yeah. F1 predict. It's not fantasy, it's just predict. I'll try to remember to post pictures. But yeah, let's wrap this up before we die.
Yeah, let's do that.
We still have the drivers, our stars of the race.
Yeah, we do.
Mine are all teams. Just heads up.
Oh, nice.
I kind of did mine pretty quick because honestly, I wasn't even sure if we were going to record, if we were going to survive. Third star for the double points finish, even though one of them lost 2 against the net zero. They seem to be doing some progress in the car. That's Williams.
Yay, Williams! Love Williams. As I sit in a Williams fucking team kit. My third star was Asa Kajar, gaining 4 places to secure a much-needed point for Racing Bulls. Shrug emoticon.
You did a point.
You did a point.
It's better than some. It's better than a team almost the entirety of last year. Yeah. Second star, McLaren. Yes, I will give the credit for Norris getting 6 spots. So 2 DNFs, but he still, did his thing. Whatever. Oscar Piastri managed his race pretty well. They managed tires pretty well. Yeah, I mean, that's how it is. Just Oscar things.
Wow. What it is. Speaking of Oscar things, Oscar will secure my second star. What a solid drive from your new World Drivers' Champion leader. Yay! Just hit the throttle and sent it from lap 1, turn 1 to lap 50, turn 27. Amazing work.
Ooh, hey, Alicia scored up 4-1.
Woo!
Shout out to Steve Dingle, who had to leave his event at the arena because something wasn't working. And this is their studio, so he had to drive probably 45 minutes. It's only a couple miles, but it's Toronto traffic.
Side note, the shots include the ones that score, correct?
Yeah, correct, yes.
So they are 50% on shots right now.
Correct.
Holy shit.
They might want to pull their goaltender. The game is frozen, so I can't tell if they are or not, but the other stream is. They should probably, and it's Linus Hallmark, who's a really good goalie. It's supposed to be. My number 1 star was Haas. For another just good. They both were out of the points, but they had good positions. I saw more great teamwork. I'm giving this mainly to Esteban for being a good teammate, the teammate I thought he would not be to Ollie. So,
heck yes.
And Haas seems to work their issues. Komatsu is just
insert picture of Ayo Komatsu.
Live Gyatsu. Gyatsu? I don't know what that is. I probably just said a slur in Japanese. I'm sick. Leave me alone.
Goddamn. All right. Well, my number 1 star is
Probably
Lando Norris.
Those, but whatever. That's what I picked.
My number 1 star is Lando Norris. I flirted with the idea of dropping him to 2nd star and swapping with Oscar. Unfortunately, I'm super bad at flirting and couldn't bring myself to do it. So, I kept Lando at number 1. Extremely good extended first stint. Fast pace sees Norris making up for his Saturday mistakes and gaining 6 places, securing 4th place and scoring 12 solid points for himself and McLaren and earning him my 1st star. Ooh. Yeah, that's the race.
That's the race.
That is indeed
Not the
race.
YouTube channel.
No, that is not the race, the YouTube channel. It is the race of the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix.
Yep, and we didn't have no DSQs, no after-track drama so far. I mean, Max definitely being like, oh, I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty funny.
It was good. It was like a cool-down room moment as well. Oh,
yeah.
Did you write down the quote? I was like, I don't need to write it down. I'll remember it. Don't remember it at
so
all.
he's talking about Bortoleto almost murdering Alonso. He said he might not have a flight home this evening. Considering, Alonso being his agent might not book him a flight home. And then the second great conversation, like mini convo on track, happened between Charles and Brian Fozzie, his race engineer. Just from Brian, well done, Charles, on a pass that he made. Well done, Charles. Leclerc, thank you, Brian. Fucking phenomenal.
Other little notes, I guess we did have more kind of irritated Alex.
Yeah, oh my God.
He's
Alex,
just mad.
He's just mad.
He's so mad.
He's so mad.
It's only a game.
It's only race. Why you have to be mad? He's very spicy. I don't know what's got him. Well, his team chili. I don't know what's got him so hot. But yeah, I mean, I guess some of the basic stuff, but also like, as much as I love seeing Alex spicy, calm down a little bit. Just a little bit. It'll be fine. You've got this. You guys both finished in the points. We got this. Yeah.
Yep. I think we're out of it.
We're getting there, yep.
Thank you for putting up with this episode. If you never want us to do this again and just do it when we're healthy, then that's fine. Because I know I sound like shit. Unless I don't know.
I'm getting into the like tired phase of I haven't sat and focused on anything other than my notes, so I'm just like everything's starting to cross together. I've made mistakes in the reading of my notes. Yeah. I'm getting to loopy sleepy land, so we're getting there.
Short episode this week.
Yeah,
but much needed both for everybody involved because of the triple header. We are off next week. You're not on next week, so you got to work. It's like your boss knew it was a non-race week.
Yeah. No.
Like, you want to rest? No, go fuck yourself.
The only reason I have to work that week is because I will be off on the next one.
Yeah.
Like on the next like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So yeah.
Yep.
Which Sunday, Monday is normal, but Friday, Saturday is not. So. But yeah, next race will be race number 6 in Miami. That is our quarter of the way point.
Yep.
Fuck, that means I'm going to have to do a checkup after that. But it's also a sprint race, which...
God, remember... Wasn't the only good thing about Miami Lando's win, and now we don't like Lando, so... Now who gives a shit?
You're right. Oh my God. And then...
The birth of Chuck Leclerc, that was the only thing.
Oh yeah, no, that was
But
fantastic.
that was the inaugural, that was forever ago.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's on May the 4th. Yippee!
Ooh, happy birthday to my mom.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, we're gonna go be sick, I guess.
We're just gonna go and lay down and die.
Yeah. I'm gonna go probably get more medicine because I think I only have 1 dose left of my daytime stuff. So,
yeah.
Allergies, trees, damn it, trees, and now it's rained like nonstop for like 3 days. So now all the mold and mildew will be up, and then grass after that. Oh, seasonal allergies, and then the dust from the winds and the naders. We just can't win, can we?
No. But hey, you know who can win? Toronto, baby!
Ooh, it's the first game.
And it's still the fucking second period.
We're only at the halfway point.
Through. Oh, God. Let's see if they've inherited Nashville's skill.
I've said if Max told me to score that goal, there would be victims. the town of Toronto would not be okay. Scotiabank Arena would be a crater. Anyway. This is F1 Podcast. It's over. We'll see you in Miami. Well, not in Miami. I'm not going there.
I'm legally not allowed to go there.
Yeah. But, yeah. You know what I mean. Bye.
Follow the pod everywhere at DSQ Pod.